About 20 years ago, I was hired by a casino affiliate program to build the casino affiliate program. So my boss comes to me one day and he says to me, would you like to go to Amsterdam to a conference where all the affiliates are hanging out, all the big names in the industry, and go see if you can drum up any business? So obviously back then I was in my mid-20s and Amsterdam's got a lot of things that I enjoy. So I said, yes, of course, I would love to go to Amsterdam to go and see if I can find affiliates. So he gave me $10,000, which at the time I thought was a lot for the weekend. But when I got there, I found out that to get a booth at the conference that we were at cost $10,000, or pretty close to it, which would leave me next to no money. So I would leverage everything on having this booth where all my competitors are, and I'll be stuck at this booth. So now keep in mind that A, we're a startup and everybody has got at least as much money as us, but 90% have got more money than us. So now I'm thinking, shit, I'm all the way in Amsterdam. I've been sent to this casino affiliate conference and I don't have enough money to get a booth and then still have leftovers. So what do I do? So I go to the bar, which is directly outside the entrance and exit into the conference hall. And everybody who goes into this conference hall comes out and ultimately goes to the bar. Now this is my first conference and we're at the Krasnopolski Hotel. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, what is my play here? What can I do? How do I get to meet the right type of affiliates that can drive our business forward and can justify this trip that I've been on? And of course, as I'm sitting there, an idea comes into my head. I go, what if I try this? I get one of the tables there and I go to the beautiful Dutch blonde bar lady, and there were two of them whose names I forget, but whose faces I remember. And I said to her, okay, I have an idea. At all time, I want to have at least 10 big ice cold beers on the table. Because my plan was that I don't mind anybody who comes in from the conference, if they're a competitor or if they're an affiliate that I'm trying to acquire to promote my casino, which was a microgaming casino, and microgaming is the casino brand that became what is Betway today. So I think, okay, cool, let me try this. People are coming in here for beers, let me buy them beers. So I don't care if you're my competitor or if you're an affiliate, you can just take a beer, have a free beer, no charge, grab a beer. So I set this up. And why did I do it like that? Because A, I don't want to be seen as somebody who says no, only affiliates can have beers, my target audience. I didn't want them to think, well, that's not cool because we work with some of these affiliate managers and now you're excluding them. So no, we don't want to be with you. We'd rather go be with them. That was never my thinking process. What I thought was everybody can have a beer. Because if you're my competitor and you come for a free beer, I'm going to get to speak to you and I can get information from you, like who's a big competitor. Well, not a big competitor, who's a big affiliate? Who are the main affiliates? Because I don't know anything at this point. I'm in a startup. These guys have been doing it for 2 or 3 years. So anyway, I get this table full of beers and I start handing them out. So I start getting contacts of who the big affiliates are from the competitors after building up some rapport. And then, of course, I get to see who the big affiliates are, make my mental targets, and start speaking to affiliates. But what I noticed was every affiliate manager was pitching these affiliates. They were all offering them big deals, all offering them these great endorsements, sponsorships, whatever. I said to myself, right, I am going to do something completely different. And I'm not going to speak about business at all. So I took this approach and an affiliate said to me, Garth, why do you never speak about business? Or why haven't we spoken about business? Normally, these affiliate managers are pitching me within the first 5 minutes. And I said, exactly. Why do I want to do something that everybody else is doing? And ever since I was a kid, I always hated that feeling. I always hated that feeling of trying to be in the crowd. I'd rather swim upstream. So I said to them, listen, here is one thing that I know. You big affiliates, you don't really learn anything at these conferences because you're already a big affiliate. You already know what you're doing. You already know more than the speakers. You already know exactly how to run your business, and everybody is after you with the same pitches. If I just jump in and give you the same pitch, what point's that going to be? That's not going to do me any good. So I decided I am not ever going to sell to anybody at the conference. I'm going to build relationships first. And I would tell them that. I said, listen, man, I'm here to hang out with you to see if you and I get on. And if we have synergy and if we enjoy each other's company, when you get back to whatever part of the world you're from, I'll touch base and we'll speak then and we'll do a deal. And they were like, oh, wow, refreshing. And that bought me a few more beers with them. And as you can imagine, if you have 3 to 5 big half-liter Dutch beers in you, you become very relaxed, you start enjoying yourself, and we got to hang out and build relationships. And to cut a long story short, from that first conference, I got probably 4 or 5 big affiliates that would go on to do between $50,000 to $100,000 per month with us. And that was insane. In future conferences, I would literally be contacted by affiliates. Some I knew, some I didn't know. But what happens in the casino affiliate game, or what did back then, is smaller affiliates look at bigger affiliates to see who they're working with, and then they go jump on the same bandwagon and promote the same casinos. So as long as I could get exposure on these big casino webmaster sites, I knew that I'd get all the small to medium-sized guys that would come along. So that is exactly what happened. And through this strategy of not trying to do the same thing that everybody else did and just purely build relationships and actually give a shit about listening to them, seeing where they're from and finding common ground, which is always the most important thing. And secondly was comedic timing. If you could make them laugh and they could have a good time, they enjoyed your company. Some of the funny upsides of that is I got them so pissed that some would just miss their other meetings with other affiliate managers, which I thought was quite funny. You know, I ended up hogging these prize targets because they enjoyed our time together. They just wanted to hang out. They got to know who I was. I got to know who they were. I actually cared about them. And I still have some of these friendships 20 years later, and I'm not in the industry anymore. But my point being is, sometimes you really have to think outside the box. And my takeaway from conferences, especially in the casino industry at the time, it may have changed now, it was 20 years ago. But my takeaway at the time was the real big players aren't going there to get information from a speaker. They know more than the speaker does most of the time. And the really big affiliates, they like to live under the radar. They're almost like ghosts. They like to be spoiled and treated and taken out, but they're not really socializing with the general population. They're a little bit elitist. But through our spending time together, days turn into nights, right? And nights go out very late. And I ended up spending that $10,000 on that weekend purely on entertainment. And that was buying beers, restaurants, nightclubs, and all the other things that you can imagine in Amsterdam. So I showed them a really good time because for the most part, these were technical webmasters. They weren't street guys. They weren't people who knew how to grease bouncers, who knew how to speak to anybody. That wasn't them. They were more introverted. So they loved that this guy could come and show them a good time and actually cared about who they were as people and didn't only want something from them. We first said, let's see if we can have a cool relationship, and then we'll see if we want to do business together. And the long and short of that story is, after the same strategy for about 3 conferences, I would start getting requests from affiliates before a conference. If it was 6 weeks out, some would even want to book me the very next week that they got home. They'd get a hold of me. They said, man, please can I go out with you at the next conference in Miami or in Las Vegas or wherever it was. And I built up such a reputation for actually caring about who they were, showing them a good time, and went on to build $1 million per month affiliate program, which essentially got kicked off by giving away free beers at a time when I couldn't compete with the competition spending power and getting the big, beautiful booths and all this kind of thing. So, think outside the box. But my real big point to this is, A, think outside the box. B, sometimes don't do what everybody else is doing. And if you're in that affiliate space especially. So those are my takeaways. I literally built $1 million per month affiliate program. It took about 2 to 3 years to build that up. Probably 2 years to reach the $1 million per month mark. And we did all of that off that one little table at the Krasnopolski Hotel in Amsterdam. at, I think it was called the ICE Affiliate Convention. Anyway, that's my story while I'm doing some work. If you enjoy these kind of stories and insight, then follow along. Cool. Cheers. Take care.